Easy the Block Captain has a problem, and that could be the very reason why he loses his battle. Let's get into it. Hi y'all, it's your boy Average Perspective back in another video. I think it's been very interesting seeing the landscape of how this Eazy and Cassidy battle has been going, and I've been noticing some things, and I think that it's going to play a crucial way in however this battle goes, because I think Eazy has a problem, and if he's not careful, this this might be the straw that breaks the camel back. Whatever that saying is, all right. I think Eazy has three problems going into this battle that I think that can be it's definitely can definitely mitigate it, but it's happening so fast that I think it might be too much for him. This might be it. I have a strong feeling this might be it, right? And let's get into it. So one of the problems that Eazy has right now is believability. All right, believability is going to play a huge role in this battle. The reason why I'm saying this is right. If Cassidy is able to convince people that Eazy's actually not from Philly, right, that would strip Eazy a part of his identity, because Eazy's been screaming Philly ever since he came in here. You know what I'm saying? And that is going to strip Eazy a part of his identity, right? And that's a huge part, because Cassidy is like the right person for it too. Like Cassidy embodies. Everybody knows Cassidy's background, right? Cassidy embodies everything about Philly. Everybody knows that's where he's from. That's where he grew up. That's how he came up in the game, battle rap game, right? So who else to call Eazy out from not being from Philly, rather than a person that embodies everything from Philadelphia, right? I think that this battle comes down to who can convince who's who. If Cassidy can convince this Bull is not really from Philly, or if Eazy can convince us that I'm actually from Philly, right? I think one way that Eazy can nullify all this is that if he has like the Philly legends vouch for him, right? That is either before the battle, make sure you do it close to the battle so it's fresh in people's memory, because battle rap, we have a history of very low attention span, right? If he's able to get these Philly legends like Hollow Man, like these Philly rappers that we know are from Philly, if he's able to get them to vouch for him either before the battle or incorporate like a very creative way of incorporating them in your rounds, and I think that can actually maybe help Eazy a little bit. I also think another thing that can go in his favor is if Cass talks about this whole Philly thing too much, right? If Cassidy spits 2 rounds of Eazy not being from Philly, at some point you're like, all right, we get it. He's not from Philly. Move on. So that can also go into Cassidy's favor, right? And I think that Eazy should be aware of that. I think he should be very, very aware of that. And I think that he was able to play his cards right. You know, it can potentially go into his favor, right? And if Cassidy's able to give us the reason Eazy's not from Philly, so like I think if Cassidy spends like too much rounds on this Philly shit, I think it can also dig Cassidy a much deeper hole that he probably might not be able to come out of, because again, you talked about someone not being from Philly for 2 straight rounds. Like, bro, at some point it's like, all right, what is new? Like, do you have anything else? Like, what are you gonna say? I also think another way that Eazy can, like, how should I put this? I'm trying to figure out how to put this. Eazy can nullify this, but like I said before, having the Philly battle rappers vouch for him, but also don't do not do it for a long time, just like Cassidy, right? Don't harp on it for 2 rounds or a whole round. No, no. Touch on it, move. Touch on it, move. You spend too much time on it, and that's when you start to dig the hole that you cannot come back from. At some point, you're like, bro, get over it. It is what it is. The second thing that I think Easy has a problem with is, and I swear to God, I actually got this word from Chris, gumbo pot, right? I think in the past week, like the amount of information that has like surfaced about Easy is like uncanny. Like, and for it to happen at the biggest battle of his career, like with so much information coming out like that. I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry. Um, Easy's biggest career, I mean his biggest battle of his career, and for some reason all this information is just coming out of nowhere. Like, and I think it's I think it's crazy, right? Because we have the whole Pap and Rem situation happen, and we have the whole, um, which I think Cassidy is a great person to talk about this Pap and Rem thing, right? Because Cassidy has a relationship with Remy, right? Now, however that goes, it's gonna go however it goes, right? But I think Cassidy is the perfect person to talk about this because again, Cassidy has a relationship with Remy, and I think possibly Pap too, because in the face of he was talking about how he texted Pap who was right after he knocked him out, like so they clearly have some type of relationship going on. Now, is it? I don't know. I don't know what kind of relationship it is, but I think that Cassidy will be a very critical person to talk about this because maybe Cassidy can actually unveil some things that we don't even know about this whole situation, and that could low key be detrimental for Easy. I mean, honestly, again, this could get very dark for Easy out there. I mean, we thought Geechee Gotti was dark. This could potentially top that, and Cassidy's a much bigger battler than Geechee. So the damage of this could be, I don't know. It could be very very bad. But another thing is that Cassidy has has to be able to execute this. He has to be able to execute this to perfection. And let's be honest, we haven't seen Cassidy execute this this type of angle to perfection since he's been back. The most we've ever seen him do is with Hitman. That was the first round, and then it just began to fizzle out. But I think if Cassidy's able to execute this angle, I mean, perfectly, I think somebody that could possibly execute this angle to perfection would have been Mook. I think Mook would have. Jesus Christ, if Easy was battling Mook, that would have been. God bless his soul. That's all I'm gonna say about that. God bless his soul. But yeah, I think the amount of information that's coming out of the woodworks regarding this whole Easy thing, and for some reason it just keeps coming. Like, every single time he bat, it just keeps coming. It doesn't stop. It never stops, and it's just everywhere, 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 and it's gonna hurt him. I know he thinks it's not gonna hurt him. I think it's gonna hurt him. Again, this is happening in Philly. This is the battle of who is the most Philadelphia. Now we know Cassidy is Philly, but Easy says he's Philly. Do we know? No. Has people been telling us he's not Philly? Sure. Reed tried to tell us he's not from Philly, but Reed is not really the perfect person to say that because Reed has had his ups and downs, and also Reed doesn't have the stature that Cassidy has in battle right now. Now, 20 years ago, Reed would have been excellent for it. But right now, Reed doesn't have the stature that Cassidy has. So I think Cassidy will be the perfect person to execute this whole thing. Again, he has the background to prove it. He has the relationships to prove it with Remy and Pap. He has the notoriety to pull it off. As everything that you need to pull up an angle like this, Cassidy potentially has. The difference is that we've never seen him execute to that type of level before. So this would be a very interesting, very very interesting I want to see how Cassidy goes with this because he was able to execute this. I mean, I think Eazy might be done. Yeah, it might be. So yeah, the third thing that I think Eazy is gonna have a problem with is Eazy versus everyone. This is something that I've noticed a lot. Eazy the block captain has this problem. Okay, Eazy is a prideful motherfucker. He really is. He is. No doubt about that. Prideful, cocky, arrogant, confident, whatever you want to call it, he is. Cassidy is that times 10. Every single time Eazy has a battle coming up, it's Eazy versus the battler he's battling, Eazy versus the fans, Eazy versus the fans that don't like him, and Eazy versus the random people that also hate him. It's never just him and the battler who's the better one. It's always him and everybody else. And I think that's gonna go. That's a bad thing because at the end of the day, it just seems like he has so much hurdles he has to go over, right? And that includes Muslim Poppy coming out of nowhere talking about his Remy shit, right? This whole taking people up the trenches thing, or hell, the NDA from the disaster battle talking about you can't talk about Papa Rem now. Again, it just seems like he's battling the person in front of him and everybody else that he's battling. And honestly, I've noticed that every single battle he has, it happens. And honestly, man, this is like I'll say for the millionth time. This might be Eazy's toughest battle yet. I will 100%. I I'm willing to die on the hill that says this is Eazy's toughest battle. I don't think there is a battle. The only battle I can see that might have been tougher than this was if it was battling Mook. That's it. Anything anybody else, I think that this is the toughest. Even Twerk, I think this battle is much tougher than Twerk because Twerk can execute the angles like Mook could. Twerk doesn't have the notoriety that Cassidy has. Not Twerk is a star in his own, but he just doesn't have what Cassidy has. And Cassidy himself will tell you, "I'm the energy." He says that like multiple times every day. I bet he stands in front of him and says, "I'm the energy. It's Cassidy, arrogant bastard." That's what he is. Um, I think that man, Eazy is in for a rude awakening, man. I still have Eazy winning, even after all this. I still have him winning, but I think it is going to be a fight of his life. I think he has to be firing on all cylinders because if he's not, man, it is gonna look dark for you out there. And again, like I said in the video before, like I said previously, that Eazy shouldn't harp on one angle the entire round. Yes, you have to play defense, but at some point you gotta play offense too. If you spend your entire time playing defense, you're gonna be on the ropes. And as in boxing, you don't want to be on the ropes because if you're on the ropes, you're more likely to get knocked down. So yes, you can play defense a little bit, but touch on it and go. Don't put it in your round. Just have a set of like 16 bars, somewhere tucked in there. He brings it up, bam, fire. If he doesn't bring it up, never bring it up. You don't want to spend your entire round talking about something Cassidy didn't even talk about. Then you just look stupid over there. Exactly. So I think Eazy should be prepared for everything. I mean, you don't know where this can go. I mean, this could go so many ways. I mean, the ways are endless. Anyways, those are the three problems I think Eazy the Block Captain has in this Cassidy battle. And if he's able to mitigate all these, I think you come out on top. If he's able to counter punch, counter right, quote unquote, and able to weave his way around these angles, I think after that it should be smooth sailing from there. Now again, it all depends on how Cassidy executes it, right? This whole thing depends on the execution of Cassidy. Again, we've never seen Cassidy execute an angle like this to the kind of level we're expecting ever since he's been back. Not in the Guts battle, not in the Arsenal battle. Hell, the Guts battle there's no angle. The Arsenal battle there was no angle. The Hitman battle, he did it in the first, but it's just fizzled out after that, and just nobody cared after that. So I think that this is gonna be Eazy's toughest fight. All right, that's it for me today. Average perspective. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you.